On the news, President Tinubu signs 4 tax bills into law. Court adjourns PDP Secretary legal tussle to September 22nd. And President Tinubu declares declines assent to NDLA bill. Many thanks for joining us on the news on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. We begin with legal matters where Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed September 22nd for a definite hearing on the suit over the authentic National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The date was set following an agreement by all parties after the case was reassigned to Justice Umar. The matter was originally before Justice Ekwo, who had fixed March 25th for the judgment before the plaintiff, Samuel Anyanwu, filed a motion to amend his originating summons prompting delays. Anyanwu, through his counsel Ken Injemanze, had asked the court to restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from accepting any correspondence from the PDP not signed by him and to stop the party's acting national chairman Umar Damagum from sending letters to INEC without his counter signature. The court will now hear all pending motions in September to determine the legitimate occupant of the party's national secretary seat. Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced August 16, 2025 for the conduct of by-elections into vacant seats in the Senate, House of Representatives and State House of Assembly in 12 states. Chairman of the Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, who announced the date at a meeting with leaders of political parties at the Commission's headquarters, said the by-election will involve about 3,553,659 registered voters. He, however, said that the Commission will not conduct by-election in Rivers State as a result of the current state of emergency and in Zamfara State following a legal challenge of the declaration of seat vacant by the State Assembly. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has assented to the 4 tax reform bills recently passed by the National Assembly. The short ceremony, which took place at the Presidential Villa on Thursday, was attended by the leadership of the National Assembly and some legislators, governors, ministers, and aides of the President. The 4 bills, the Nigeria Tax Bill, the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, were passed by the National Assembly after extensive consultations with various interest groups and stakeholders. According to the presidency, the new tax laws will significantly transform tax administration in the country, leading to increased revenue generation, improved business environment, and a boost in domestic and foreign investment. President Bola Tinubu has also lauded the Nasarawa state government for its prudent use of resources and commitment to delivering impactful infrastructure. The commendation came during his one-day working visit to Lafia, where he inaugurated a series of legacy projects, many of which have now been named in his honor. From road infrastructure to youth empowerment and security enhancement, the visit highlighted the state's alignment with the president's renewed hope agenda. Now, TV360 correspondent Comfort Samuel has more in this next report.
Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, was in high spirits as President Bola Tinubu visited for a one-day walking tour. He was received by the state governor Abdullahi Sule, traditional rulers, and jubilant residents. The highlight of the visit was the commissioning of the 16 billion naira Lafia flyover and underpass, now named the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu Interchange. The 1-kilometer project was delivered within a year and fully funded without external borrowing. President Tinubu also commissioned the newly dualized Shandam Road, renamed the Bola Tinubu Exchange Road, and unveiled the state-of-the-art Nasarawa State Secretariat Complex. While commending President Tinubu, Governor Sule credited his economic reforms and prudent policies for creating the enabling environment that made the project possible. He described the flyover as a symbol of progress in Nasarawa State and a testament to the people's confidence in Tinubu's leadership.
You have seen most of what you have to see, so there is no need for me to go repeating most of the team. I want to thank Honorable Minister NDLA Alake for always working with you to ensure, the reform agenda when it comes to the aspect of solid minerals, and for his continuous effort in ensuring that Nasarawa State attracts most of these processing industries. In the next 2 months, Your Excellency, he has just shown me one, which is the biggest so far in the country. But in the next 2 months, we are going to commission one that is 3 times what we have just seen right now in Endo.
Expressing appreciation, President Tinubu applauded the strides made by the Nasarawa State and praised the governor's integrity and commitment to the people. And as part of effort to strengthen security across the state, the president handed over 60 security vehicles to support law enforcement agencies in maintaining peace and order.
From this moment on, you will have no regrets. I could see hard work coming from A.A. Sule, determined to use the resources available to him for the benefit, stability, and prosperity of Nasarawa State. Sule is doing well because Ebola Tinubu is doing well too. Those who have triggered the alley politics and the partition of coalition suddenly just don't pay them any attention. They are the political IDPs. Don't give them a home. The hope is here. Sule is doing well. We will support whatever a Governor Sule brings about to work harder for the prosperity and renaissance of Nasarawa State. That's all we stand for. I'm not geared for what they try to pull on me, a political campaign. But who is a politician who will keep quiet when the gangsterism are forming a coalition to unseat themselves?
Tinubu encouraged the people of Nasarawa State to remain committed to his administration's agenda for economic recovery and national development. The visit is widely seen as a strong endorsement of the state's development trajectory and its alignment with the broader reform initiatives of the federal government. Comfort Samuel, TV360 News, Lagos.
Into security matters, the Nigerian military is set to deploy over 800 specially trained Special Forces operatives to various operational zones across the country in response to the nation's growing and technological-driven security challenges. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, revealed this at a training seminar held at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. General Musa emphasized the need to build a combat-ready and professional military force equipped to tackle the evolving nature of warfare. Also speaking at the event, the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Baduru, called on the military to ensure that all troops training aligns with Nigeria's national security goals.
The intent is to foster synergy, enhance professionalism, and align our training regime with the ever-evolving nature of conflicts. These include adapting to hybrid threats, embracing simulation-based training, strengthening jointness and interagency cooperation, as well as cultivating a generation of officers and men who are not just tactically proficient, but intellectually agile and operationally resilient. The ongoing harmonization of tri-service level training policies for greater jointness. Increased engagement with strategic trading partners like the British Defence Staff, West Africa, German Training Advisory Group, GTAC, United States Office of Security Cooperation, OSC, and other multinational entities. Also is the initiation of joint evaluation mechanism to measure the impact of training on real operational effectiveness. It is our conviction that training is the bedrock of operational success. Our ability to detect threat, protect national interests, and contribute meaningfully to regional and global peace operations depend largely on the quality and consistency of our training efforts.
To address the identified challenges, this paper proposed some strategies. The first is, of course, to increase the manpower development through the instructor development, which I touched on, and to address the challenge of shortfall and qualified manpower, as well as the establishment of the training and doctrine coordination committee, which also touched on. And I believe that it's a central body that will harmonize training policies, doctrine and development, infrastructure investment, as well as technological innovations across the three services.
Despite the recent withdrawal from ECOWAS and the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger Republic are among the 54 African countries expected to attend the inaugural African Chief of Defense Staff Summit in Abuja. The chairman of the Summit Planning Committee, Air Vice Marshal Precious Amadi, confirmed at a press briefing that all invited countries, including the three Sahel nations, have indicated interest in participating in the high-level security dialogue. Scheduled to hold from August 25th to 27th, the summit aims to provide a platform for African military leaders to discuss collaborative strategies to tackle the continent's growing security challenges.
This summit will cover 4 thematic areas, namely discussions on collective securities and strategy for African security issues, facilitating collaborative responses to peace and security issues within the African continent, developing mechanisms for integrating the private sector into African defense efforts, and lastly, establish a roundtable for the initiation of homegrown solutions to African defense problems and issues. I can tell you with all confidence that under the multinational joint task force, Niger Republic is still participating, even though we have a strained political relationship with them. So Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, we have no issues with them militarily because one threat to one is threat to all. So if you focus on the political issues, then you have this kind of discussion. But on the military side, we are working together. We had an ECOWAS Chief of Defense Staff's conference here, and most of them attended the ECOWAS conference. So we're not having any, but we're just writing to them, informing them. We're getting responses from most of the countries we've written to of their plan to participate and attend in person, not just sending a representative. So I think we have no issues with that. We are political. With military side, I keep on following the military side, even though we listen to our political leaders.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declined to assent to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Bill 2025. The president's decision was contained in a letter read by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, during plenary on Thursday. The proposed law seeks to empower the NDLA to retain a portion of the proceeds from the drug-related crimes. Now, President Bola Tinubu cited Section 58, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution, said that the bill, if signed, was contravention of the aforementioned sections. Tinubu clarified that under existing law, all proceeds from crime must be deposited into the confiscated and forfeited properties account. And as the world marks the 2025 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, global advocates are calling for increased investment in prevention, treatment, and support for individuals struggling with addiction. With the theme Breaking the Chains, Prevention, Treatment and Recovery for All, this year's observance underscores the importance of community support, accessible health care and global solidarity in tackling drug abuse and illicit trafficking. TV360's Queen Banigo has more in this next report.
Drug abuse ranks amongst the most pervasive global vices, posing several social and public health challenges. From urban centers to rural communities, its impact is profound and far-reaching, touching individuals, families, communities, and the entire nations. Back home in Nigeria, drug abuse and illicit trafficking has become a growing public crisis. This comes as no surprise given the numerous arrests of drug traffickers recorded across the country in the recent years. According to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, no fewer than 14 million Nigerians are estimated to have been involved and addicted to the consumption of harmful drugs.
One, sensitization to let the people know about the dangers of this particular drug, and then the signs they should look out, they should watch out for in their environment so that they will know and then quickly alert the NDLA and other authorities. And then the effect of this particular drug, because like I said, the ones being produced in Nigeria highly addictive, very addictive, and very strong, too strong. And so the effect on the well-being of the people, of those that consume them, all of this, they are things that no nation would condone, and that's why the agency, like I said, we've tried to raise awareness about this, to sensitize the people, so that, and also mobilize them to take action. Two, we've also gone all out to ensure enforcement of the law in this regard.
Despite rising addiction rates, success stories still exist. Peter Chukwu, a former drug user, shares his powerful story of battling substance abuse for 6 years. Now celebrating 2 years of staying drug-free, Peter describes recovery as a second chance at life.
I realized that I was having short memory. I started having short memory, and it affected my relationship with my family and the people I care about. So it was really a bad time for me. Really a bad time. So it just dawned on me that I need to make the most out of my life, and I need to find my purpose. And this thing I'm doing is not helping me do that. It's not helping me find my purpose, and it really did me wrong, like very bad. So now I just got stuck on.
Peter says self-reflection was the key to his recovery. He urges others battling with their addiction to pause and ask why they turned to drugs in the first place, believing that understanding the root cause can spark the healing of the journey.
My advice is for you to love yourself, love yourself, to bring yourself out of it, to remember why you start so that you'll be able to, help yourself come out of it. Because if you remember why you start, you know that it has not really helped, rather it has damaged you.
Stigma often drives people into silence, making addiction worse and limiting access to care. Experts urge governments to treat drug misuse as a public health issue, calling for the investment in education, justice reform, and healthcare to break the circle.
In Abuja, here in FCT, we don't have up to 4 rehabilitation centers. Count the number of rehabilitation centers saving 200 million plus people. We don't have up to 100. And that is because everybody sees drug use issues like a criminal issue. So I don't want to bring somebody, that's maybe a criminal into my space because, so that thinking around that's the first thing the government needs to do. There needs to be a legal framework, and I'm happy for what the Honorable Minister for Health did at the 25th National Council for Health meeting when he sent in a memo which was approved by the National Council on Health to provide a legal framework for addressing drug use issue as a public health issue.
This year's International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking serves as a call to action. Stakeholders advocate a shift from criminalization to more compassionate, health-centered approach, one they believe can break the stigma and support lasting recovery. Queen Ibanigo, TV360 News, Lagos.
It's time for a short break. We're coming up on news now. Iran warns of retaliation on U.S. bases in Middle East if U.S. attacks again after Iran-Israel ceasefire. Details of the story shortly. Welcome back. Now let's take you through our major stories. Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed September 22 for a definite hearing in the suit over the authentic National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The date was set following an agreement by all parties after the case was reassigned to Justice Umar. Now the court will hear all pending motion in September to determine the legitimate occupant of the party's National Secretary seat. We also told you that President Bola Tinubu has assented to the 4 tax reform bills recently passed by the National Assembly. The 4 bills, which are the Nigerian Tax Bill, the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, were passed by the National Assembly after extensive consultations with various interest groups and stakeholders. Now, in case you miss any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Ami's World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Simisola Adegun is on standby. Over to you, Simi.
Thank you very much, Amilore. Welcome to business news. The House of Representatives has approved the total sum of 1.132 trillion naira for the Nigeria Customs Service for the 2025 fiscal year. The approval followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Customs and Excise presented by its chairman, Honorable Leke Abejide, during the Committee of Supply session. The House also urged the NCS to stop collecting illegal CISS and 7% cost of collection fees, adhere to the legal 4% FOB income, improve CSR in border areas, and reintroduce excise on telecom services and single-use plastics.
The House do consider the reports of the Committee of Customs and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of Nigeria Customs Service projected revenue to total sum of 1,302,548,855,205 naira 88 kobo for 2025 fiscal year, of which the sum of 1,748,214,675 naira 4 kobo based on a 4% FOB.
Customs to stop collection of 1% not backed by any known law of Parliament. So if it's not backed by law, do we need to actually ask them to stop collection of something that is not backed by law?
The House in Committee of Supply considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the 2024 Appropriation Act to further extend the capital components of the Act from 30 June 2025 to 31st December 2025 and for related matters. And in so doing, has approved the following clauses: clauses 1 to 3, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill.
After the short break, we'll be back with stock market reports. Stay with us. The bears took charge of Thursday's trading session due to speedy sell-offs of some heavyweight stocks in an attempt to take early profits. The market's indices see the all-share index plunge by 0.39%, leaving the capitalization standing at 76.5 trillion naira. 128 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 33 gainers and 38 losers. Thomas Wyatt Nigeria leads the losers chart with an end-of-day price depreciation of 10% at 2 naira 7 kobo per share, followed by Nigerian Aviation Handling Company. On the flip side, foreign stocks advanced on Thursday thanks to defense and mining agents. Our select foreign stocks, that's the UK's FTSE, US Dow Jones and Japan's Nikkei, are all in grains. Investors are monitoring the ongoing ceasefire between Israel and Iran and NATO's decision on Wednesday to hike defense spending from 2% to 5% of gross domestic product by 2035. Now, on the foreign exchange market, the Naira exchange at 1,557 Naira to the US dollar and 2,120 Naira to the British pound and 1,790 Naira to the euro. That's all on business and market reports. Samilare has the rest of the news.
Thank you, Simi. And on the global scene, President Williams Ruto has officially signed the Finance Bill 2025 into law, marking a crucial moment for Kenya's economic landscape. The comprehensive bill aims to streamline revenue collection, improve the business environment, and foster innovation-driven economic growth in Kenya. A significant highlight is the mandatory requirement for employers to automatically apply all applicable tax relief, deductions, and exemptions for employees, aiming to ease the tax burden on salaried workers. Furthermore, the bill fully exempts pensions and retirement gratuity payment from tax, providing relief for retirees. And Iran's supreme leader has warned that any future U.S. attack on Iran will be met with retaliatory strikes on American military bases across the Middle East. Speaking in his first televised address since the ceasefire was declared between Iran and Israel, the 86-year-old leader said Iran had emerged victorious after 12 days of conflict, which included a retaliatory strike on U.S. largest base in the region located in Qatar, following American involvement in Israeli military operations. His comment echoed earlier statements made during the height of the Israel bombardment, reinforcing Tehran's stance on defending its sovereignty and warning of broader regional consequences should hostilities resume. And finally, on sport, the Super Falcons of Nigeria have arrived in Casablanca, Morocco for their final preparation ahead of the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. 22 players and team officials arrived in Morocco's economic capital on Wednesday night. The contingent were joined by Bay FC striker Cesar Toshuala and China-based forward Folashade Ijamilusi. The 9-time champion will open their campaign in Morocco against Tunisia on Sunday, the 6th of July. And Nigeria's Basketball Federation, NBBF, has released the preliminary squad for the national women's basketball team. The Tigers are ahead of the 2025 FIBA's Women Afro-Basket Championship, scheduled to take place in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The announcement marks the official start of preparation for the competition, where Nigeria will aim to defend its continental title. As part of the build-up, the team is expected to open a training camp and participate in a series of activities, including the homecoming games exhibition matches designed to evaluate players and engage local supporters. According to the NBBF, the selection process is ongoing with the technical crew monitoring performance levels in anticipation of naming the final roster that will represent the country in the championship. And those are the stories we have on our bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. See you again next time.